We will now be picking up from where we left off on part 1.
Alrighty, now to reapplying the tape over the resistor to secure it to the battery. Usually the tape that's been removed doesn't stick too well, so I'm just going to end up reapplying a piece of Scotch tape over our tape in order to secure it and hold it in there. You should be good doing that. It's not like it's going to get too hot and overheat or nothing like that, so no problem. Just go right over their tape. Next you will need some super glue and some foam that you have laying around the house. I'm just going to cut it to the length of which the material of foam that I removed was, thickness and width and length as well. So I just started slowly cutting it that way. I needed 4 of these. Due to the fact that I am reselling 2 different battery packs. If you are only doing 1 battery pack, you only need 2 of these.
I'm going to put these aside and move on to cutting the 2 small pieces of foam that sit on the side of the battery pack. Here and here.
The battery itself.
First I'm going to be cutting for the width. Then I'm going to be cutting for the thickness of the foam that I have removed. Slowly dwindling it down to where I need it to be. I like these long razor knives because you can really work with material and cut it to precisely the dimensions you want it to be. I'm going to trim both of these up a little bit. And finally to cut for the length. There you go. I cut 4 because I have 2 batteries. You only need 2 of them. Apply a little super glue to the porous side of the foam so that it will stick and adhere to the retainer when you go to hold it. You can follow the instructions with super glue, but as you probably already know, you have to hold it on there for a little while for it to actually stick. Seeming to stay pretty easy here. I'm going to apply a little super glue to the opposite side of the battery. This time I'm going to put it directly on the outside of the retainer. That way I know no other glue is going to be getting anywhere else on there. You know, it's just going to stick to the retainer itself. That way I could just push the porous part of the foam right to it. You can see it's a little loose here, so I'm going to reapply a little super glue to the retainer, the black retainer itself, in between the foam and the retainer, and just push it on. And hold and squeeze both ends of the foam together just so that the glue can cure for a moment here. I made my foam a little tighter, so I'm going to just dry fit it into the base and make sure I can get it pushed down in there. First, removing the screws from the lower end of the battery encasement, I will then proceed to place the small pieces of foam in the center cavity channel of the lower encasement on the outer edges where the battery will sit. At this point, there's no need to apply glue due to the pressure provided by the squeezing of the encasements causing the battery to be pushed against the foam. Now you will need your number 9 Torx screwdriver to re-secure the 4 screws to close up the battery housing. You will now find that the upper encasement will run into the top of the foam as the black pillars are pushed towards the lower encasement. You will have to set it down and slowly push the foam back behind the upper encasement pillars of which the screws go into, so that you don't just rip it off of the detainer that we have glued it to. You will feel a slight snap when it sets back to it, and just start reapplying the screws back into the bottom of the battery encasement and screwing them in a clockwise position or right rotation. There you have it. Congratulations. You successfully changed the cells of your 12-volt Ryobi cordless power drill. And on to my second repack cells closure of the cell into the encasement. I will just follow the same procedure I have done in the past with this first one.
there you have it. No more dual flashing lights. Steady green charging light. God, I love being a gearhead. We can fix anything. Now it's time to have yourself a good meal and kick back and enjoy. You earned it. Now we're on to the second portion of the second battery that I'm going to be soldering. I moved this to the end on purpose so that you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. As you can see, the tabs are all unhooked. I'm going to pull the tabs up so that I can apply some solder to the tops of the batteries. Here, there's that tab sticking on the retainer, like I said. Okay, let's get underway here. Be sure to put your safety glasses back on. I am going to preheat the tops of the batteries so that I can apply solder to the tops of the batteries in between the tab and the battery.
There was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? He told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He liked the beach. I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit, should have wore shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he's like, this guy crazy. Adrian, he's like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area. He told the guy, he said, when you want
Applying the solder to the top of the tab, the battery and the tab are now hot. I will push down on the tab with the screwdriver and wait for it to solidify and secure itself. Number one is done. I am on to number two. Following the same procedure, after heating up the tab, I am applying solder to it. I'm going to push down onto the tab with the screwdriver. While applying heat, I will then pull the heat off of there and leave the screwdriver until it hardens.
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool.
On to the last soldering connection of this side. I will heat up the tab and apply some solder to the tab. Push the tab down to the battery while heating up the tab and the battery itself until the solder gets hard and remove the screwdriver. Now I'm going to be applying just a little bit more solder to the top of the tab here and then flattening the solder out, not heating the solder up enough to detach the tab from the battery. As you can clearly see, the tabs are all secured to the batteries. This side is done. Flip the battery pack over, slightly lift up the tabs so that you can apply solder to the tops of the batteries before we finish this one off.
But eventually, it will subside. And something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever. The most important thing is this: to be able at any moment to sacrifice.
The tabs over just a little bit, and then we'll proceed to start applying solder to the tops of the tabs. Now pushing down on the tab with the screwdriver, I will commence heating up the tab and the battery with the soldering iron. Lift the soldering iron off while holding with the screwdriver and wait for it to cool. Repeat for cell soldering connection 5 and 6.
Stop giving up. Stop sleeping on the street. Stop walking up and down Finkel Avenue like you ain't got nothing, and get your GED. Stop being afraid to take a test. Stop being afraid to go to college because your daddy didn't go and your mama didn't go. Stop being afraid.
Lightly evening out the solder, not to apply too much heat or pressure to pop the tabs off of the battery connections. The cell is completed. Thank you for watching the second portion of this video
on soldering of the replacement of your dead cells in your 12-volt Ryobi cordless drill CB120L. Be sure to leave your feedback and comments below. I'm Pan and out of here for now. See you next time. God bless.
The world is yours. So work hard and you can have whatever it is you want.